Finally, silence settled in. I didn't want to talk, didn't want to explain, didn't want to please anyone. The hypocrisy of the world had grown tiresome. The calculations in human relationships had worn me down. At a certain age, you realize that no amount of excitement can buy true peace of mind. Those seemingly important social interactions, those barely maintained relationships, are, in fact, nothing more than a series of wasted moments as time passes. Thus, people gradually reach a state preferring quiet over flattery, preferring simplicity over complexity, preferring pre-solitude over pretense. This is returning to nature. This is what the Taoists say. The great way is simplicity, the wariness of the human heart and worldly affairs. Have you ever felt this way? In the crowd, a smile often graces your face, but in your heart, all you want is peace and quiet. Sometimes, even though you clearly don't want to say more, you're still forced to engage in small talk, even though you clearly don't want to explain further. You're forced to face misunderstandings and judgments. In the workplace, you have to put on a smile. In social situations, you have to play a role. In the web of relationships, you have to carefully maintain a balance. But what do you get in return? Often, what you get is not understanding, but exhaustion. What you get is not ease, but fatigue. The older you get, the more you understand a truth. Those who truly understand, you don't need explanations. And for those who don't, any explanations are futile. Thus, silence becomes a form of protection. Thus, simplicity becomes a form of wisdom. Silence is the sharpest response. Sincerity needs no proof. False feelings require demonstration. The wisdom of the great ways, simplicity. Taoism says, the great way is simple, and all things follow their natural course. These 8 words reveal the most essential law of life. The So Dang called Tao is the fundamental law governing the operation of all things in the universe. It is not complex, not clamorous, but rather profoundly simple. Like the alternation of heaven and earth, sunrise and sunset, there is not a single superfluous element, yet it encompasses all things. However, people often violate the Tao. We cling to maintaining relationships, cling to identity labels, cling to external recognition. We devote all our energy to proving ourselves, to pleasing others, and to pursuing others. But we forget that the essence of life is pure and natural. Taoism advocates ruling by inaction. Inaction does not mean doing nothing. It's you for my whole life, but rather not forcing things, not going against one's will, and not forcing things. Just as water flows around mountains, it doesn't compete with rocks. Yet, it can flow through them for thousands of years. The same should apply to interpersonal relationships. Those who are truly destined to leave don't need to be maintained deliberately. They will naturally remain. Those destined to leave, no matter how hard you try to hold them back, will eventually depart. Thus, simplicity is the true power. Not competing is the highest wisdom. Only by not competing can one be invincible. The Great Way is invisible, yet it can accommodate all things. The way is not far from people, but people themselves are far from the way. Letting go and peace. When you begin to choose silence, please do not doubt whether you are indifferent. That is not indifference, but wisdom. That is not retreat, but growth. Like autumn leaves falling in the wind, it is not failure, but letting nature take its course. Like a clear spring flowing around a stubborn rock, it is not retreat, but gentleness with strength. You no longer need to please anyone, because those who understand you do not need to be flattered. You no longer need to explain anything, because true understanding never relies on words. When you reduce unnecessary social engagements, you will find that inner peace begins to return. When you reject insincere pleasantries, you will find that the space in your life begins to loosen. Life does not need too much excitement. True abundance often comes from quietude. A book, a cup of tea, and a moment of quiet meditation can bring a heart home more deeply than countless social events. If your heart is free of dust, where can the wind land? Those who understand you need no words. There's no need for explanation. Silence is the answer. Life's realm life is, in fact, a journey of return. In youth, we pursue fame. In middle age, we yearn for stability. In old age, we simply seek a spiritual sanctuary. This is precisely what the Taoists say: from action to inaction, from noise to tranquility, from complexity to simplicity. The Tao is invisible, yet it embraces all things. True power often lies in silence. Learning to be quiet isn't about isolating yourself from the world, but about maintaining a sense of composure amidst the hustle and bustle of the world. Learning to be simple isn't about rejecting everything, but about being able to see your true heart amidst the chaos. When you master controlling complexity with simplicity, you'll discover that life can be so light and effortless. When you understand the principle of using stillness to control movement, you'll realize that true strength comes from quiet self, take control. The world is noisy. The heart needs stillness. Don't chase. You'll be at ease. The Great Way is invisible. Peace of mind is the way. Don't seek to be understood. Seek only peace of mind. Thus, true simplicity. isn't about withdrawing from the world, but about maintaining inner peace amidst the hustle and bustle of the world. When you learn to be silent, to let go, and to be simple, you'll find that life begins to become transparent. Have you ever had moments when you just wanted to be yourself quietly and peacefully? If so, please leave a comment and share your feelings and thoughts. I'm the answer, and I'll accompany you in your journey of enlightenment.